Hello and welcome to another tutorial. In this video we're going to create something of a jet plume, so some sort of energy plume that comes out the back of an engine, and we're going to get stuck in pretty quickly. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to set the view to the front viewport, so I have a fairly flat view of where I'm putting my curve, and I'm just going to click on the curve key from the workspace at the top here, and then I'm just going to start clicking in here to, I'm going to give it a bit of a somewhat of a ripple, a bit like that, and I'm going to hit enter. Once I've got this initial shape, I'm going to go into it and I'm going to revolve this around so that we can get it all the way around. I can start to smooth this as well, I guess. Just on this though, I am going to end the caps so it is evenly ended. I could have put a few more. In fact, let's have a look at this. Let's put a couple more in here. In fact, let's start that from the beginning. I don't like the shape of that at all. So we're going to grab curve, and I'm going to just start hit enter. Awesome, and then I'm going to go into here and I'm going to grab that revolve in here. Once I've viewed that, that's the shape that we've got, and I can end those caps so that when I go back to our perspective view, there are no caps depending on whether that is there or not. Awesome, so now that I've got this initial shape down, I can start to get this to animate a little bit. I'm going to use a node called Ripple to get this working. I will start to see a bit of it moving in a bit of a funny way. So if we crank up the speed to about 45, we can see this in a bit more speed. Looks a bit funny at the moment. We could change this by just playing around with some of these. So we don't want it to be massive at all. Turn the wave decay up. Let's have a look at that. Nothing's happening. About here. So we've got that. We can turn the scale down and have the height up a bit. Start playing that. So we get that sort of flow as well. We can also make that go a bit faster. Put a bit of a random seed on it. The number of ripples up, and we get a bit more movement as well then. Awesome, so I'm pretty happy with that. I am just going to put a bit of a transform so I can rotate it on the x-axis so we can see it on its side. Get that movement happening there. Cool, so that's about it for the movement. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a material node here there, and then in this material, in the material palette, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to find flames and drag that into there. On here I can grab that material as well. I can grab it from here, and we want material, and we've got the flames material on there. So on this flames material, I'm going to click a pretty neon green here. Let's turn the intensity up as well. I'm forgetting one thing. In here we need to put an ISO offset node in here. Cool. What this ISO offset node is, it gives it a bit of density, and it gives it some sort of shape as well. So we've got our initial shape. It's fairly difficult to see, but depending on how we go with this, we can get a relatively good shape here. Let's turn this up a bit more. Nice. So we've still got our initial shape there, which I'm quite liking. And then we've got flames on there. So what I am going to do, I'm going to leave that as black. I am going to change this one to this blue here. Close that one. I'm going to grab this one. Make this blue here. Turn that right up here. And we're going to create a brand new one with that bright, that neon looking blue. Nice. So the reason for that is because I'm going to go through here. And I'm going to set all of these to density because we've made this quite a dense object. And what that should do is it should give us some sort of particles in here. A little bit like this, but let's re-render this to have a look at. That's it. Just give it a moment. So we're starting to get there with the shade and everything. What I do want to do, let's turn this scale up a bit. Just make brightness up. So we're starting to get this change a bit more. Let's turn the intensity right up to 5. Here we are, we're getting there. Starting to get a bit of a glow now. Let's get back to this. Don't need those. Cool, so we're starting to get there with this. There we go. Let's turn our temperature down a bit. We can just fiddle around with this a bit. Let's go to 0.6, I think. Or 5.9 on the temperature. And then we get a nice glow in here. We've got that nice fall off on around the edges with that smoke. And then while we play this back, we're going to see that animated as we've already done it with the ripple. So once we've done that, I'm going to just yes, I'm going to grab it, go into the object, and I'm going to create another curve here. So we're going to go curve in here. I'm going to view this. I'm going to go to set to the front. And just like before, I'm gonna let's put this out a bit more. Let's go from the beginning there to in, back out. Let's close this and revolve this round. So we've got a bit of a funny shape here. Let's end those caps. Let's transform. And we want to go 90 on there. If we go to our perspective view, I'm going to put a material on this. The material we're going to put on here is just going to be a pretty basic shader. So we're going to grab principal shader at the top, pop that onto there. No, undo that. Go back to our object. go to this material, put the principled shader on there. I'm just going to go to the principled shader and just change it a little bit. So on the surface, let's grab a bit of a different colour just so we can see it a bit better. And then we're going to go back to our object and we're going to just add a merge. Put that there. We could actually put a poly bevel in here as well. Let's put the distance like that. Okay. Chamfer, nah. Okay, rounded's fairly good. And then with all of that as it is, oh, it's all changed again. Cool, hit enter. And then we've got our nice looking sort of engine. And now if we look at this, nice, we have a fairly detailed energy that will animate as well. So if I just go across on the track, we could also change how this ripples as well. Let's turn the height up a bit. Try that again. And just in this transform node, we can just be this one. Just pull it back a bit. Wrong way. Cool. So then we have our finished sort of plume, energy plume that we can use in future projects. Alright then guys, take it easy. Hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one.